Crystal here from Flourish Herb Farm, and today I'm in our lemongrass patch. Lemongrass, we grow it here as a tender annual. I started it from seed in the early spring, and now I'm harvesting it all before the frost here in the Midwest. It is a phenomenal landscape plant, and it's a great addition to your culinary garden or your medicinal garden or apothecary garden. I love it and cherish it as one of my homegrown apothecary allies. I like to, again, plant it from seed in early spring and harvest it in October. And I need to harvest this all before the frost. So the way I do it is I just cut it at the base, and then I bring it in and cut it into tiny little sections. Think really tiny in terms of the size you would like in your dried tea blends. See how beautiful it is? This plant is very medicinal and has many culinary properties. There's many different medicinal uses. It's rich in antioxidants, high in vitamins and minerals and phytonutrients. It aids in digestion because of its aromatic properties. And sometimes when I'm stressed or anxious, I come out and crush some of the leaves between my fingers and take a deep breath in and out. And it often relieves stress and anxiety immediately, sometimes. But I also love to add it to tea blends as well. So I add it to a lot of different tea blends, uplifting tea blends, digestive support. I add it to my Lemon Bliss blend, which has a lot of different lemony flavors to it. And I use it for cold and flu support as well. In terms of culinary uses, I like to make a big batch of lemongrass tea, a very concentrated batch of tea, and I'll use about a pound of lemongrass to about 2 gallons of water and simmer it for a while, and then once it cools down, freeze it into ice cube trays, and then I can take those ice cube trays once they're frozen and put them in a Ziploc bag, and then I have little tiny bits of lemongrass tea that I can add to soups and stews and curries and stir fries and sauces. I also love to make sauces ahead of time and freeze them. And you can just keep dried lemongrass on hand to cook with rice or to season different dishes like soups, stews, and curries and stir fries. But what I'll do in that case is just cut big bits of the lemongrass to dry, and that way I can just pull it out after I cook with it, because it'll absorb the flavor, but then you don't want the hardness and toughness of the lemongrass in your dishes. You can peel it apart and use the inner core of the lemongrass. It's a little bit like a bamboo shoot in a way, but I prefer to just use big pieces of it for cooking with, or the lemongrass tea. Other culinary uses include cutting little bits of it, again, about that size, and putting it into jars and putting either oil or vinegar on top of it. And I like to add garlic and chilies and black peppercorns and different variations as little infused oils and vinegars. You can also dry it and make a lemongrass powder. I don't have a powdering device that works well enough, but if you do, feel free to do it that way. My favorite option is making tinctures for cocktails though as well. Also another favorite is tea blends. So lemongrass is phenomenal. We're growing and harvesting this particular patch for our collaboration with the Old Bakery Beer Company here in Alton, Illinois. We've launched herbal sparkling teas that are made with homegrown ingredients from Flourish Farm, homegrown herb from Flourish Farm. So our herbarium variety that this lemongrass is for is the lavender lemongrass herbarium. If you'd like to learn more, you can visit Instagram page at Drink Herbarium. All right, lemongrass.